Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. I've been sitting here waiting for it to turn to 12 o'clock and started reading something, and then suddenly it was 12:02. So let me get YouTube up here. I am so excited. Happy to be here on a Memorial Day Monday. It's a holiday for some, and those who typically have to go to a place of business to work. We're really excited that you get to be here with us today. Let's see, we'll get YouTube up so I can see what you see. And chat is working just fine today. Hi, Margie. Welcome, welcome. Hey, Glennis. First two in. Happy to see you. All right. Did you see that cute little tea bag? Oh, I saw that somewhere on the internet and thought that would just be adorable to make for our journals. Let's see who else is here. Margie, thank you for your support. I certainly do appreciate you. You help keep HPP running fast and smoothly as it does. It is because of the members of HPP and our wonderful admin. May we all remember those who died to keep us free. Yes, thank you. Thank you. If you're not able to get out and visit graves today and honor them there, that's okay. I think the fact that we keep them in our thoughts and are grateful for the freedoms that we have because of those who died for us, that's what's important. And we try to say thank you to all those we meet who have served our country. It reminds them that we do care. Hi, Sylvia. Happy joy. So happy to see you. Hey, Gretchen. Good morning from the Great Pacific Northwest. You are well represented. Glad to have you both here. That is awesome. Okay, well, let's get right into it because we have 1 hour. We can make this multiple times. So we'll make it, we'll do the folds multiple times, make it super easy. It actually is super easy. You're going to look at it and go, oh my gosh, that's so easy. Why didn't I already think about that? So the sample that is in the picture, the thumbnail on the YouTube video, this one, I made out of this, which is just that cellophane type plastic that comes in a box of crackers or cereal. So sometimes you have to go buy something specifically just to get the inside packaging. Hey, Joanne. Oh, no. Any complications from triple bypass? Oh, whoa. Joanne, we will keep you and him and your children in our prayers. Prayers work. We are huge proponents of that. And absolutely, we will do that. Anytime you're able to tune in and listen while you're sitting there, awesome. If we can give you a moment's reprieve from the stress and worry. And if not, we totally understand. Yes, we will definitely keep you in our prayers. I took the breathing tube last night and he was sitting in a chair. Wow, that's awesome. That is awesome. Yes, I believe in the power of prayer too, Joanne. It has healed many things in my life. Sylvia, they always say that it's easy. And I'm going to tell you that this is easy. In fact, I was ready to go sitting here at 20 minutes to 12 and thought, I haven't recorded a short tutorial to put up. Whenever I can, we do this for 1 hour. But, sometimes if you want to just come see the folds, just get it real quick and easy. A 10-minute, 12-minute video that just shows you the folds that you can stop and just do it quick, not get all this talk and hello and how you doing is really nice. And so I flipped on the camera and I recorded 11-minute quick fold tutorial of this. So when we're done, that will be posted on here so that if you want to go back, if you're not at your desk and you want to go back later and sit down and fold it, you don't have to watch this whole thing all over again. You can just go to that really short tutorial. It was so easy. I thought, yeah, I could record this real fast. So, okay, so this is that cellophane that comes out of the packaging. And this is just tea bag paper. If you got the Happy Paper People subscription box, there was tea bag paper in one of the boxes. Can't tell you which one it was. It's a couple of years ago, but there was tea bag paper in there, and that's what this is. Then I also have some calligraphy paper. This is Japanese calligraphy paper, and I just like it because it's a little bit thinner. It is kind of sort of transparent, so I might be able to see what's in it because I like putting a little something inside there as a little surprise. So those are the 3 that I chose to work with today. However, my other thought was to just grab scraps and make cute little tea bags out of scraps, because then you don't have to fill them with anything. You can't see inside them unless you chose to cut a tiny little window, which you could do, but now we're getting not easy. Now we're going into taking a little more time. Any semi-sheer paper would work. Absolutely. Glassine would work. Vellum would work. If you want to see through it, and you don't have to be able to see through it. So some of these in cute little patterns, that kind of go with different types or styles of journals would be adorable, and make them out of scraps. The piece of paper that you need to make them is just 6.5 by 3.5. That's all. And actually, I did that. I measured that because I know which one of you are going to go, which ones are going to say, how big is that piece of paper? I need to know how big to start with. So I'm giving you a measurement to start with. However, y'all know that you don't have to start with this piece of paper. It could be larger. It could be smaller. I'm not even going to sing that song. Is that from your famous Japanese book? I've heard so much about that previous book. So many beautiful projects to come from that book. A tiny little window wouldn't that be cute? But that's a lot more work, Margie. You can make it any size. It does not have to be exactly this size. And you'll see that when I started with this one, and when I got to the end, I decided I wanted it a little smaller. So I cut the top off. This one, I didn't cut the top off. So they're actually 2 different sizes. So you can make it any size you want. So don't think for a minute that you have to have, and look, to match our hearts inside. Got a little heart right there. You don't have to have any particular size paper. That's just what I started with, so that you have some kind of measurement to start with. So if you make one from this size, you'll know real fast if you want one. Once you've got it down, you can make them any size you want. All right, let's get right to it. We are going to do the folds, and we'll do this a couple of times so that you can see how to fold it, because it is super easy. So I'll keep going. I won't stop a lot. And we'll fold several of them. All right, we've got our 6.5 by 3.5 piece of paper, and we're going to fold that in half. It's tough already, right, Margie? So tough. Now I'm going to turn it over so that little mountain is on top, and I'm going to set it down, and I'm going to grab hold of the mountain, and I'm going to fold it over maybe 1/4 of an inch. Doesn't matter how much exactly. You're making that little gusset on the bottom. You decide how much you want that folded over. Okay, making that little gusset. So folding that, and then I'm going to bring the top. I'm going to leave that down there. I'm going to bring the top up and fold that side up just to meet it. That's all. So by folding those 2 to meet, now I've got that little gusset on the bottom. Super, super easy. You know what? This would be super cute made out of Japanese paper with the Japanese writing on it, Sylvia. That would now I have that book to use. It's now a tear book. I could make that with Japanese paper. Okay, so now we're going to set it down and open it up. Don't worry, our folds won't go away, which we're going to need. We're going to take one side and we're going to fold it over about to the middle, roughly. I know this is so difficult, so complicated, and so many measurements. We're going to take the other side and we're going to fold it over just to overlap, just the littlest bit to overlap, because we got to glue that down. You can make that right in the middle. You can make it off-centered. You can put that fold anywhere you want. I'm not going to worry about it too much. I just want just a tiny overlap, though. And sometimes this paper, the more sheer and flimsy your paper is, the more fiddly it becomes, because it just wants to flop everywhere. It doesn't have a lot of structure to it, but that's okay. All right, so there's my fold. And again, you can put that on the side. You can make sure it's directly in the middle. It doesn't matter. It's going to end up on the inside of this. All right, so now we just need a little bit of glue. And I'm going to run just the tiniest bead of glue along this. Does not take much. That was almost too much right there. trying to squeeze it yet not squeeze it. So you get the teeny tiniest bit of glue out, and then put it back over the top and press it on. Now you know this is really porous paper, so you know that the glue is going to go through and stick to the other side as well. So I'll just use a chopstick to go down the middle and make sure that I'm not sticking the top to the bottom. There we go. Now you have a tube. Hey, Casey. Good to see you. You had some fun openings yesterday. I caught just a part of that. Okay, so now we have a tube. We still have our folds. Remember, we've still got those folds. So letting this be our guide, this part where we glued it down, fold it away from that in half. Might be hard to see, but that's where we glued it down, so that you can then fold it back over itself. And you don't have to create those folds. Those folds are already there. You already did those folds. So you just get your gusset back. There you go. And now we have a little tea bag that is ready to have something in it. So let me get rid of the glue for a moment. Put the pin back in. All right. I'm going to just take an old book page. And I just want the tiniest, the teeny heart punches here. This punch punches out 6 hearts, and I just want the littlest ones. So I'm just going to go in here. I'm probably going to get some of the others, and that's okay. I'll just set them aside and use them for something else. But I'm just going to go in here and kind of line this up and get me some little hearts. You might have a cute tiny punch of a star or a fairy or anything else. I happen to like hearts. Sylvie likes hearts. Another one of those intricate tools. Yes, this is another one of those intricate free tools. We love those kind. All right, so now I'm going to move all these big ones out of the way and all the partial ones, and just keep the ones I'm going to put in. Oh, that big one can go in. Why not? It came out whole. All right, so I'm just going to start picking them up and sticking them in here. I'm not counting. There's no rhyme or reason. I just want some on both sides. So whichever side you're looking at, you can see something in the tea bag. Okay, so those of you who are card makers that make shaker cards, I think these would be adorable with things that you put in shaker cards. I'd have to think about that because I've never made one, but I've seen them, and it would be cute, super cute, full of all the things that you would put into shaker cards. And especially if there were some things that matched like a theme of the book. If it happened to be a Christmas book and you've got, little Christmas sequins or gems or whatever it is, or just even different colors that go with your theme. All right, now I'm going to open this up, and I'm going to fold the top. I'll use the tweezers because then my fingers can kind of stay out of the way so you can see. I'm just going to fold the corner down, basically creating, when we cut the corners off on a tag, just creating that, but not cutting it off, just folding it down. Fold the other side down. So now I've created the shape of a tag on top. And if you don't like it, that one's folded a little too deep compared to the other one, I'll just refold it. It's just paper, and it's very flimsy paper, and so it folds and unfolds real easily. Okay, get that where you like it, and I'm okay with that. I might end up cutting it off even a little bit. Then I'm going to go over to the other side, and I'm going to fold these backwards just so I can see where to fold them. And then, of course, I'll come in here and fold them to the center. But at least I've got a fold mark now, so they should know where to go. And so this side will be then the same size as the other side. All right. Now, if you look at that and you say, oh, that's just too tall. I don't want my tea bag to be that that tall. I can straighten that up before I glue it down. Just totally, I don't want my tea bag to be quite that tall. All you do is come in with a pair of scissors, snip that off. I'm just going to cut that, make it a little bit shorter. All right, which means that I'm going to fold these guys down again. Should have unfolded them before I cut it off, but it's okay. They're just going to get folded in. I'm just going to fold that down, fold that one down. I just didn't want it quite that tall. If you're making a small book, you can make these tiny, and so you want it smaller. You won't want to start with even 6.5 by 3.5. I cannot do that in the air. I have to set it down. It gets fiddly with the flimsy paper. The flimsier the paper, the more fiddly it is. But the simple, it is simple, simple, simple. Okay. All right, so I can go to the other side and just trim off that excess. And then I can fold that in to meet this one. There we go. Okay, so now back to the glue. I like to put a tiny dot of glue underneath just to hold those down. I don't think that's critical. They're going to stay, but I like to. And then I'm going to put some glue on top of them on one side and in the center. And before I glue that down, I'm going to grab my thread, any kind of thread, any color thread, this little end of the skein or whatever you call that roll happened to be sitting here on my desk, so that's what I'm going to use, so I didn't have to go dig for anything else. I'm going to set that right in the middle. I'm going to put this down on top of it. Make sure I'm lining those up. And the tea bag is straight. As long as I've lined those up, I can adjust the fold on the bottom if I need to. And there you go. If you choose to, you don't have to, but if you choose to, you could put a tiny staple right there. A lot of tea bags have a little staple on top. There we go. All right. Then I'm going to decide how long I want this to be, maybe about that long. Okay. And then I'm going to make a tiny little tag to go on this end. And I've just got a piece of an old file folder that I literally just tore off of an old file folder. I'm going to fold that in half. And I'm going to cut off a chunk that's about the size that I want. I don't want it too big. About that big will work. Okay. And on the opposite end, the fold, so the open end, I'm just going to cut that down to be however long I want that tag to be. And then just trim off the two corners in that tag shape again. Okay, that's completely wonky. So I'm going to cut that down a little farther and try it again. Thank goodness for corner chompers that do those little angles, because I cannot do those angles well for the life of me. All right, so I'm just going to make sure that this is folded really nicely. Then I'm going to put some glue only on one side. And I'm going to set it down on the ground or the floor or the, the table, the desk, whatever it is you happen to be working on. I'm going to set my string in it and press it down to seal it up. And that is that. Or punch a shape for the tag. Yes, you absolutely could do that. We punch shapes to go on the center, the center of books. Why not? Sometimes I punch hearts and then just glue two hearts together in the center of books. So that would absolutely work for this. You could punch a tag, or you could punch a star or a heart, or a cute, maybe you have a cute little unicorn or something. Maybe you have a cute little tea bag. I don't know. Anything. Now we're versed in making shakers. It's always a goal, though. I have not done any shaker cards, Joanne. I've done very few cards as it is. Okay, so then all I did was add a cute little heart on here. You could add anything you want or not. You could leave it alone. Maybe stamping some script would be cute. But I have right here that I was using the Dilutions set of stamps. This one, I like these hearts because they're kind of wonky. They're not perfect hearts, and I only need one. So all I did was take an ink pad. It should come with the lid. And ink up just that one heart. I only need one. I'm not even going to use a acrylic block because I only need one. So I'm going to ink up that little heart. I'm going to put this on top of it, press it down, and there's my heart. Okay, and I forgot to grab my baby wipes. It's okay. It'll come off later. Let me get the pin back in the glue. Okay, so and that's it. That is literally it, start to finish. See how simple it was, Sylvia? It really is simple. It'd take you a minute to just get the folds and remember the folds, but it really is a simple process, easy to make. This would be a super easy one to sit down and batch make, because you could cut out a whole bunch of, to size of what you want, and then you could fold them all, and then you could glue them all, then you could do all the little tags. I mean, easy to batch make. Gretchen, love using tea bags in your journals, and now I can make them if I don't have any used ones. Yes, absolutely. Okay, so you could also put something on the outside here, or stamp on it, or something cute there. I can see all the little hearts inside. It leaves something fun for a little shaker. So let's do the folds one more time. That's the biggest thing, is just getting the folds down, because once you've got the folds down, you can make these anytime, anywhere, with any scrap of paper. I think they'd be super cute made out of book page too. Hey, Chris, thank you. Hope you're grabbing a scrap of paper and folding one with us, just so that you'll remember the folds. All right, so they've got a 6.5 by 3.5. Again, it does not have to be this size. That's what I'm starting out with, just to give you some measurement to start. I'm going to fold that in half. And every time you fold it, you want to crease it really, really well, because you're going to open it, but you're going to come back to that fold. And so you want the crease there. Okay. Then I'm going to pick it up so that that crease is facing up. That little mountain is facing up. Awesome, Chris. Sylvia, see? I love it. It's really simple. It is. All right. Grab hold of that little mountain, and you're going to fold it over about 1/4 inch. Again, that's the gusset on the bottom. You can make that as deep or as shallow as you want. There is no requirement for what that has to be. I hope y'all had a great weekend, and it's kind of still the weekend because it's Memorial Day. I had a really good weekend. And happy for today, Memorial Day, for all the positive thoughts, for all the people who served our country and continue to serve our country in these turbulent days. We don't discuss politics around here, but we're all for the same country. We're all for the good of the country. Doesn't mean we have to believe the same, but we're all for the good of the country. So it's a nice time to think about those. Many of you have people in your family who served. My father served in the Army. Of course she did, Sylvia. Of course she did. I knew she could. Okay, so once we've got that fold, you saw what I did. Folded the mountain over and then brought this one up over the top of it. And that created our gusset on the bottom. All right, now we're going to open it up. And we're going to fold one of them kind of sort of to the middle, roughly. Doesn't really matter exactly where it is because it's not going to show. Just give it a good crease. And then the other side, we want to overlap. Doesn't matter which one overlaps the other either. Just one side needs to overlap the other just enough to glue it down. So overlap just a tiny bit. And crease that one. We want a good fold, a good crease there. All right. Now we're going to glue this closed in that crease. I got a bigger overlap than I typically do, so I'm going to get me a teeny tiny tea bag out of this one. My dad and 5 uncles served. Wow. I love them too, Margie. Thank you to your family. That's pretty awesome. My husband served and his dad served. Yep, several of my uncles did as well. I have, I think 3 uncles, but I don't think they all served. So you have a dedicated family, and I appreciate that. Again, before it has a chance to set that glue, you want to stick something down here, like one of these expensive chopsticks that you can pick up at any Panda Express or Chinese food store. I was a little slow getting that down, and that's already started to connect there. I don't want to glue the top to the bottom. There we go. Don't want to glue the top to the bottom. We want this to be a tube. So if I get that in, and then I can press this down, make sure that it is secure. Give it a chance to dry a bit so that it won't attach to the bottom. There's a little bit of glue on the bottom that came through. Want that to dry so it won't attach to the top. There we go. All right, so then we go back to our folds, and we're going to fold with the seam. We just created the seam, put that on the outside, fold it in half, and you should just be able to follow the folds that you already did. You should have creases there. So the seam on the outside, so then when you fold it back on that little other crease you've got there, and you fold this one back on that crease, your seam is inside. It is in the center. You've got your gusset on the bottom. Now you could look at this and say, is that the right size? Is that what I want? Do I want it a little shorter? If you want it just a little bit smaller, just take your scissors and chop it off like that. And then we'll just fold these down. You could fill it up, not fill it up. Do whatever you want with that. Actually, I'm not going to fold them down until I put some hearts in. I am going to fill it up with hearts. And I'm going to go over here and see if I can just cut out some of these small ones that I want. It is kind of nice getting 6 at once, but the downside of that is sometimes getting sizes that I don't want. But that's okay. Using up scraps of paper, and I move from left to right because the images I want are on the right. That way the left keeps punching over and over the place that's already been punched before. That way we're really not wasting any paper. Not that that amount of paper would be any big deal, because we need to learn to throw it away. Right, Margie? I'm learning to throw away the teeny tiny scraps. All of these are going to the trash. Just easier right now to get them off out of my way here, but then I will take them all at once. I am not saving them. They're all going to the trash. All right, and down here I have all the hearts that can go in. Bring them all together, easier to pick them up. Got my tea bag ready to go. Tea bag made out of tea bag paper. This would be cute with, I mean, glassine is really cute with this, or vellum. Those are semi-transparent papers as well. That is sticking together, which is fine once I get the stuff inside it. Doesn't matter if it sticks together. There we go. All right. I do think I'm going to make some out of book pages. I think those would be cute, especially Japanese book pages, Japanese writing. Okay, I'm going to put some down that side. I'm going to put some down that side. Little tiny ones. Okay, got some in both sides. Hey, Patty, good to see you. Or make confetti. You could actually just chop this up really small and make confetti to put inside of them. Nobody will really know what's inside of them, right? Okay, so now I've got my tea bag full of little hearts, and I'm just going to fold one side down. Can't do that in the air very well, so I'll just come down here. Fold it down. Come to the other side. Fold it down. All right. Bring them up. Make sure my gusset is folded where they meet. I can see where I want to fold the other side to match. This is so easy. You could do it in your sleep. I know. All right, some glue, tiny bit underneath these. Oops, I left the pin out. Where's the pin? Gotta stab the glue, get it running again. Hi, Leah. Rice paper. Yes. Rice paper, that's a great idea. Rice paper is a great idea. You can use plain rice paper, but also rice paper that has design on it that you can still see through. That's semi-transparent, but it would already be decorated. That's a really good idea. All right, let's get the string over here. Set our string down. I love that idea. I have rice paper scraps. I've got a pouch of rice paper scraps. That would be perfect for those. All right, there we go. Okay, and now I'm going to cut it off about there. These would be cute little bookmarks in the journal. I'm going to give it a little staple right there and take my piece of old file folder. I'm going to cut a little tab end. Cut that off about there. I should probably allow extra room for when I cut these corners and they're so wonky that I have to cut it down and do it again, but not too bad. It'll work. All right, so a little bit of glue on one half of that. Allows me to set the string in and fold it over, and voila. Bye, Casey. Have fun at work. Hopefully they're really busy on Memorial Day and make the day go fast for you. It's good to see you. Okay, so I'm going to give that one a little heart as well. I think I'm going to do this one with the Orange Blossom, which is rust. If you want a good rust ink, I'm going to put it right over the top of that black. That's archival, so that's probably on there pretty permanently. Maybe it'll come off with my baby wipe in a minute that I forgot to bring over to my desk. If you want a good rust ink, Ranger Archival Orange Blossom. That is my go-to. It stamps rust. It's really pretty. It's a really great color. And if you like working with re-inkers, get the re-inker on that, and you have you some good rust ink, rust colored ink. Yeah, I love stamping gears and steampunk things like that with the Orange Blossom because they always look rusty. Okay, now you could also come over here and put a tiny staple in the little tag, the tab that is the tag, or the tag that is a tab. Probably did that one backwards. I guess it depends on what side you want showing in the front. Doesn't really matter. Put a tiny, some of them, I notice some of TEABAGS have a staple on this and some of them don't. So everything about it is optional. Do as you please. Do as you wish. Make it your own. All right. Glennis will have to check. I don't know. I can't believe I've never told you that before, or maybe it's been so long. Oh, my favorite rust ink. The rust and the archival patina. There you go. Garden patina and Orange Blossom. That's the rust and patina that I like. So yes, I can check on that for sure. All right, we got a few more minutes. I'm going to make a couple more because, I mean, we got time. Why not? why not batch make a few so you've got some sitting there ready to go into books, right? Hopefully you guys are as well. Gretchen, I'm trying, but they keep being too narrow. Making another tab. Okay, so Gretchen, start with, make sure it's 3.5 wide. The first one that I did was not wide enough. And then the big thing for me is when you fold it to the center to glue it down, make sure that it doesn't overlap very much, that it's just got just barely enough overlap to glue together. And if you find that you keep getting it too narrow because you just want a thicker overlap, that's okay. Go to 3 3/4 or 4 inches wide. My guess is that you're probably overlapping that a lot in the center. But you know what? That's not a big deal either. If you like that to be wide, just take a piece of paper, start with it being 3 3/4 or 4 inches wide instead of 3.5. That just gives you that extra. If it's more comfortable for you to make a bigger overlap, that's okay. It's okay. Julie, both of those colors, awesome. Hi, Julie. Yep, those are my favorite Reston Patina inks in archival, of course. Okay, so there's the gusset. I didn't walk through that, but you've all seen it. Fold it in half, fold the mountain down, and bring this side up to meet it. Now you have a gusset on the bottom. All right, open it up, fold one about to the center. And this is probably what's doing you in, Gretchen. When you fold the other side in, make sure that it just barely overlaps, just enough to glue it down. Not enough to be a big old fat seam, just enough to glue it down. And it really doesn't need much glue because it's very flimsy paper and that seam is on the inside. It's not going to get any pressure on it. Did I do it again? Let's see. I tend to leave the pin out of my glue. I did, and then it gets clogged just enough that I can't get the teeny tiny line that I want. Or use score tape. You could do that. Yeah, that's a great idea. Let's see if I can reach this without it's sitting on top of the camera stand. Got some score tape that's just teeny tiny thin. That would work. That would work. Great idea, Margie. I didn't think about that, but that would be perfect. Oop. Got a big bubble that came out. That's way too much. But it's okay. It's okay. I can wipe some off with my finger if it's way too much. You really don't need a whole lot. That's why we keep a craft towel next to us, right? For glue, ink, paint, everything. All right. And quickly, before that seals up, I'll put my chopstick down the center, and then I can press it and make sure that it's sealing nicely. So you can probably see there just what a tiny overlap it is. I really just try to overlap it just enough that there's enough room to put glue on. But I totally understand wanting to fold it deeper, Gretchen. My nature would be to get a nice big overlap so that I feel like I have plenty to glue down. All right, I'm going to fold it away from this seam in the center, following the creases I already have, and then bring each side back so they meet. So I have my gusset on the bottom. And that's kind of tall. Maybe I don't want it quite that tall. So I'm going to cut a little bit off. And if you consistently cut it off, and you could look at it and say, well, maybe I don't need to start with 6.5 inches tall. Maybe I only need to start with 6 inches tall because I keep cutting it off and I like them shorter. You know, again, there are no rules and lots of options. And you can do this with any paper, any size. So let's see if I can get some little hearts out of this one. Almost to the end of this book page, but this book page has definitely given up everything it had for the hearts. Here's the end of another one. Let's see if I can get just enough out of this to get a couple more right here. Will it go in? Maybe not. Can't get it. I can't hold on to it enough. So, all right. There's some others I punched out. So let's see. Just trying to make use of all the parts of the book page. All right. That's why you're here. That's why I appreciate you, Margie. That red tip is great stuff. Once it's down, there's no way to get it off again. Now, it does come up with undo. It absolutely does come up with undo. In fact, it'll come up better, easier than your liquid glue will. But if you're not putting undo on it, you are right. It is permanent and it is awesome. I do like the red tape. All right, so let's see if we have enough here. Get rid of these half pieces and the big giant ones. Maybe we can get a couple more. Let's see. Yeah, I think these would be super cute as like shaker tea bags with stuffings in it that you would put in a shaker card. Going to be way more fun embellishing. Oh, okay, Glennis, hope you're feeling better. Embellishing is the fun part. Yeah, you could do some super cute stuff on the outside of these. You could actually, before you fill them and close them up, you could lay them out and stamp them or watercolor on them. My watercolor friend that I'm learning watercolor from. I could see some cute little watercolor flowers or hearts or something on here. Okay, I'm going to try folding this a little bit differently and see if it'll work. I'm going to fold both sides together. And then the other side together. And see if, when I fold that back, they're still the same size. Pretty close. Pretty close, and I can adjust that. So, yeah. But was I right, Sylvia, that they are easy? They are simple. They're fiddly. My big fingers get in the way, and they get a little bit fiddly. But they are simple. They are definitely simple to make. All of the die cuts I did last week had tons of wee little hearts. Oh, nice. Nice. That's cool. I don't want that quite as small. I don't want to refold them, so I'm just going to cut that off on the top. Boom. There we go. Now I have a bigger flat spot on the top. Every tea bag does not have to be the same, right? Just didn't want it as pointy. A little bit underneath. A little bit in the middle. And get my string in there. There we go. Staple that right down. There we go. Yeah, I could see you guys doing all kinds of fun things on these. See, I just didn't cut it very well. I don't do those folds where just like tags, but you know what? I don't know. Is every tea bag out of the tea bag box perfectly folded? Are they ever a little wonky? Probably are, because they're done by machine. Today's prompts are something fast, a postage stamp, and a piece of map. Ooh, hi, Lindy. Good to see you. Okay, so what do we have left? We just need us a little tag that becomes the tab on the end. I'm using an old file folder, cutting a little chunk of it, cutting that off, and cutting some little tag corners on it. There we go. Open that up, put glue on one side, and set our string in it. Close it up. There we go. These could all go in front of a border or framed portion of a brochure, bonus, form, or part of a form. Interesting. Put a small cotton ball or half in each side. Margie, what a great idea. Yes, a tiny cotton ball or half a cotton ball on each side with a favorite scent. That would make that journal smell that scent. That's a great idea, especially if it's a journal for you or a gift for somebody and you know what they like. Okay, I'm going to grab this little heart. This one little heart out of this whole wonky thing has been so extremely helpful. I'm going to do this one black. Just have to ink up just the one heart and just press this on it. It's a whole lot easier than trying to line it up on an acrylic block, because I only want that one little heart. There we go. I got one wonky little heart. These are just so simple and quick and fun to make. Be fun, happy mail too. Don't forget to make one to put into your idea book. Definitely keep one for your idea book. And if you want to, write down the folds so you don't forget those. It's been a while since we did an idea book. We did a couple of years ago. We did an idea book step by step, stage by stage. And then every time we made something, we put one into it. I have since sold all the idea books that I made. But maybe it's time to do another idea book and get some of these things into them. Yes, I have about a quarter cup of my lavender left from last year. Ooh, won't sacrifice till I harvest more. Nice. That is an excellent idea. Yes. Really great idea. I saw that word. Yeah, there's all kinds of things you could put on here as well. Sylvia, I could see you watercoloring on this paper even before you use it to make, while it's out flat on this like calligraphy paper, before you use it to fold. And this stuff that is the stuff that comes in the cereal boxes or the cracker boxes, you could do even alcohol ink on this, because this is non-porous. It's semi-transparent, but you could do alcohol ink on it. So you could have all kinds of fun with these. So just like that, you guys can whip these out a whole bunch. Don't forget to put pictures in the group. We love to see your pictures of the different things that you're making and working on. Even when we make something together like this and we're making the same thing, they still come out different. They still come out looking different, different twists on them. You guys have all kinds of different ideas. Doodles. Where's Carrie? I don't know. Made 3 tea bags, 2 with homemade paper. Oh, and 1 with deli paper. Deli paper, another great one. There you go. You guys have added so many different types of paper that are semi-transparent and crinkly, would be just like tea bags. Deli paper is another good one. Cuppy says hi. She's actually saying meow. Yeah, we understand that meow. Meow back to you, Cuppy. Doodles. I don't know where Carrie is. Maybe she's busy with family today. These would be super cute to doodle on too. All right, so I am going to call it at that. And if you'll give me about 3 or 4 minutes, I will have the short version of this. It's about 11 minutes long, up on YouTube, so that if you want to go back and just watch the folds, that's all I do in there, is just show you quickly how to fold it, how to make it. And you can pause it to make the folds and just make sure you've got them down. What about glassine? Glassine would be great. What was the other one we said? Now I can't remember. Thank you for the thumbs up. We certainly do appreciate it. And till next time, we like to stamp on them. Comment. Do comment. I love going in and reading the comments, and it gives me a chance to talk back to you, to comment back. Be watching for a Tell Us What to Do, which is going to be coming up real soon. We've got admin waiting in the wings, ready to do a Tell Us What to Do. And that is always a fun time for you to boss admin around. We have a blast with that always. So thank you for being here. Really do appreciate it. Rice paper is an awesome idea. If you've got scraps of rice paper like I do, that would be perfect for this. You can make them of all kinds of sizes. So until next time, we will see you soon. Bye-bye.